Tēnā koutou katoa, ngā mihi nui kia koutou katoa. Can I begin by apologising for not being able to make it tonight? It's one of those quirks of our parliamentary system that we need leave to attend functions, and unfortunately leave was tight today. But can I acknowledge you all and say thank you to Gavin Mail, who co-founded Broadband Compare with Alex Grace, for the invitation to celebrate the broadband industry in New Zealand tonight. In its second year now, and in partnership with TUANZ, the Broadband Compare Awards provide an opportunity to recognise excellence and achievement across the broadband industry. Now, I understand that more than 40,000 New Zealanders use the Broadband Compare website every month to compare more than 2,500 broadband plans. So that's a lot of Kiwis looking at a lot of broadband options. So with my commerce and consumer affairs hat on, this is especially pleasing. I want New Zealanders to have choice and to find the best broadband package to suit their needs, and whether that's high speed, low cost, or as is the case in many homes like mine with young users eager to use it, lots and lots of data. But to return to the reason why you're gathered tonight, the awards, I'd like to congratulate all the finalists for their hard work, innovation and commitment to providing Kiwis with choices and quality products and services. As you will know, New Zealand is undergoing a sea change in its internet landscape, and as Minister, it's exciting to be part of that and witness people increasingly embrace the benefits that come with fast and reliable broadband. The uptake of UFB in particular is steadily increasing at a rate that exceeded expectations set when the UFB program began. We're also seeing more and more Kiwis choosing broadband connections with no data cap. And last month, Stats New Zealand released survey results that showed broadband connections with unlimited data caps made up more than 70% of all broadband connections so far in 2018. That equates to more than 1.3 million unlimited broadband connections and a 16% rise on last year. If we look back at 2014, only 127,000 broadband connections had no data cap, so you can see how far we've come in just a few years. This increase gives you an indication of how hungry everyday New Zealanders are for online content, and with the addition of UFB, they're able to do so at a faster rate. Now, with the legislation amending the Telecommunications Act having passed in Parliament here yesterday, we're coming to the end of a long journey towards a more certain regulatory regime that will ensure a more stable and predictable environment for the future. And I would like to take the opportunity to thank the industry for their involvement in developing the Telecommunications New Regulatory Framework Amendment Bill. Because stakeholder input in the legislative process is critical to ensuring that we establish a durable regulatory framework that supports long-term investment in New Zealand's telco infrastructure, while ensuring that high-quality competitive services continue to be provided to consumers. Of course, there's still important work to do to implement the new regulatory regime, and I continue to count on your constructive input to go through that process. The government's UFB broadband initiative kicked off in 2012, and as of June this year, uptake was sitting at 44%, a 10% increase on the connected users since the previous quarter, and figures for the next quarter are due to be released later this month, and I'm looking forward to seeing how those figures compare. The UFB build is nearly 3/4 complete. There's been an incredible amount of work done to get to this point, but I'm very much looking forward to 2022, when we can celebrate 87% of Kiwis having ability to connect to UFB. This would mean that New Zealand should be near the top of the OECD for the proportion of population with access to fibre, putting us alongside advanced nations such as Japan and South Korea. And while UFB is good news for Kiwis at home streaming video content, playing games and connected to friends overseas, it's also good news for businesses, researchers, schools, exporters and entrepreneurs. It's good for our whole country and its ability to increase productivity, improve connections overseas and open up opportunities for new technologies. Now, providing better connectivity for people living in rural and remote areas is also an important issue if we're to eliminate any digital divide between people living in urban and regional areas. And reading the news headlines, there's a recurring theme of people in rural areas wanting improved internet speeds and coverage. Building the infrastructure and making this possible is ongoing, and I'm pleased to see that under Phase 2 of the RBI, more than 70,000 rural households and businesses will receive new or improved broadband. And while the second phase of the Rural Broadband Initiative is a work in progress, Phase 1 saw 151 new towers built, 387 towers upgraded, and close to 305,000 users able to connect. In future, I hope to see that rural communities are better connected and taking up opportunities afforded by better connectivity, such as precision agriculture through agri-tech. Look, we're also mindful too that New Zealand needs to ensure it is protected from any threats while we make these advances. We're refreshing the cyber security strategy, which is a key part of the government's effort to advance New Zealand as a thriving digital nation. We intend to work closely with individuals, businesses and community organisations to minimise harm and disruption and make the most of technological advances. Look, I think by now some of you want me to finish so you can get on with your celebrations. So do have a celebration for the achievements of the past year. Again, congratulations to all of those who have worked to provide excellent broadband services and products we have available here in New Zealand, and especially to tonight's finalists. Have a great night, everyone.